Hi, I'm Chris Mitchell. I'm Product Marketing Manager for Razer, and we're here at CES 2015.
Let's start by talking about what the OSVR is.
Okay, OSVR is a software framework that really sets a new standard for virtual reality. So in virtual reality, you have the problem that developing games or content for virtual reality requires you to develop for different HMDs, head-mounted displays, right? Or different user interfaces as well, in the sense of there's a lot of different types of peripherals that you can use in virtual reality, because mouse and keyboard doesn't really do it justice anymore. It's not like there's one standard in virtual reality. So OSVR kind of provides that. It makes any input device work with OSVR. So you have eye tracking, you have motion sensing, you have camera-based gesture tracking. All these kind of things give you different information. Making them all work in a virtual reality and understanding them for a game or game engine, that's where OSVR comes in. So that instead of developing for each of these hardware separately, you kind of develop for OSVR and you kind of get everything at once. Same thing as on the HMD side. Rather than developing for one HMD and make it work on that, you develop for OSVR and it makes it work with a ton of HMD. So from Viavana, GameFace, the Hacker development kit that you see behind me, or even the Oculus DK2, any of these HMDs are supported and more to come.
Would this also work for developers that want to create things from Morpheus?
Right now, no, but we're certainly open. We want everyone to come on board, so we're hoping to get Morpheus on board as well.
Can you talk a little about the SDK you guys are showing here and what the plans are in terms of getting that into developers' hands?
Right. Okay, so the Hacker Development Kit is going to be shipping in June. Before that, we'll probably be shipping limited units to selected developers as well, but in June it's going to be available for order. It's going to be $199 US, and the interesting thing about the HDK is that it's entirely open source as well. So what we just mentioned about the software, that it's open source, the hardware is also open source. So you can actually go to OSVR.com and download all the schematics and drawings and 3D files, and you get the material list to the smallest capacitor, so you could actually build your own HMD or improve on existing designs with that.
Why did you guys decide to enter the virtual reality market?
So we've been anticipating virtual reality in the consumer space for a long time, and like probably everyone else, but it's always been like the almost there but not quite there yet, right? And I think a lot of the problems are kind of related to on the one hand, developers kind of being careful, but they require an installed base of hardware to kind of develop for it. Otherwise it's difficult to get the returns from a game development standpoint. At the same time, having this many different controls and whatnot, it's difficult to select a specific hardware you want to develop for, and it involves a certain risk developing for one specific, and then it might not turn out to be the greatest success, right? So OSVR kind of addresses that and it pushes that forward. For us, ultimately, as Razer, our interest is primarily in the peripheral space. That's like where our expertise is, but we've seen difficulties in getting the VR space into the consumer space, and so the entire project OSVR, both on the software and the hardware side, is kind of there to bring it in, like give it that extra push by rallying tons of companies behind OSVR and get that virtual reality gaming that extra push to make it a consumer space product at the end of the day.